Okay, let's talk about seeing how the circle of fifths work using the keyboard. So we're going to start in middle C right here. No flats, no sharps. And if you think about the circle of fifths going to the right, going up the keyboard, and the circle of fifths to the left, going down the keyboard. So if we go up in perfect fifths, there's C, there's G, which has one sharp, D, that has two sharps, A, 3, E, 4, B, 5 sharps, F sharp has 6 sharps, and then C sharp has all 7 sharps. So going down the keyboard, if we think about our flat keys, go down a perfect fifth to F, then to B flat has 2 flats, 3 flats, 4 flats, 5 flats, 6 flats is G flat, and our last one is C flat, which is enharmonically the same as B. So if you think about the sharp keys first, when we go up in fifths, we're going to add a sharp each time. So it would look like this. Up a perfect fifth. And then now notice with the sharp keys, they start on all white notes until we get to F sharp is the exception. And with flat keys, F is the first scale we come to that does use a white note, but all the rest use black notes to begin with. Okay? And we'll skip C flat because we could think of the key of B rather than C flat. So the exception with the sharps is an F sharp, and the exception with the flats is an F natural. So that's a handy thing to remember. So when you're finding your sharp keys or thinking about keys that use sharps, they always begin with a natural, except for F sharp and C sharp. Also, C sharp uses 7 sharps, while C natural uses none. So that's an easy thing to remember. C sharp is sort of the polar opposite of C natural, and C flat is the polar opposite. It uses 7 flats. Okay, so now we know that when we go up in sharps, we add sharps, and when we go down in flats, we'll just add flats. So that would look like this. Play here instead of down. Okay, circle of fifths, linear. Up using sharps, down using flats. Okay, up in perfect fifths. Add a sharp each time you go up a perfect fifth. Will give you your sharp keys. Down perfect fifths. Will give you your flat keys. You add a flat each time you go down. Another nice thing to think about is when you start to add sharps, notice how this works. Your first sharp you add for sharp keys is the F sharp, which is the first black note of these 3. And when you add the second sharp, it's the first black note of these two. It's really up a perfect fifth, but if you think of it within one octave, you can see a pattern going on. First note of 3, first note of 2, then first 2 of 3, and this one, then first 2 of 3 and first these two together, so that's these two and these two, and then all 3 and these two. So, right? Guess what? With flat keys, it does the same thing, only in reverse, because that's the way the keyboard's laid out. It's very convenient. When you start adding flats, like for the key of F, you begin with this third flat. Then when you add the next flat, you'll add this flat, which is the top flat note of these two. Then you add this one, and this one, and then this, which would be a C flat. You have to start using white notes when you get to here. So let's look at that again. So for the key of G, we would use this first note here. For the key of D, we would use these two. For the key of A, we would use these two and this one. For the key of E, we would use these two and these two. For the key of B, we would use all of them, all 5. So watch this. When we get to our exception, which is starting on the F sharp instead of a natural, we then have to sharp a natural note. And so for F sharp, we sharp E and make it F natural, or E sharp as it is. Okay? So now let's go to the flats. I'll review that. Key of F, use this one first. Followed by this one and this one. Followed by this one, which would be these two now and this one. Then A flat, which is these two and these two. Followed by D flat, which is all 5 black notes. Then G flat, which is all black notes plus C down to there. So you see, it's easy to see the pattern that's going on, and if you practice your keys and your scales in this way, where your sharp keys you begin going up in fifths, adding sharps in that pattern. And flat keys, and G flat. Okay? If you think of it that way, you'll be learning your scales and your key signatures in no time. Good luck with that.